Hi, this is John, ATEX Freight Broker Training. I'm going to give you an overview of just several of the handouts that are included in our training. Some of the handouts will be informational, and then other handouts you will modify and actually use them in your own business. So let's take a look at several of the handouts that you can expect to receive in our training. The first one here is actually a free handout. It's located somewhere on the website. This is to help you prepare for your trust fund or surety bond. It's pretty straightforward. There's 3 steps you need to take. You need to, decide how you want to operate, whether it's a sole proprietorship or an LLC or whatever. You need to do a name search and make sure it's available, and you need to register it. And then you need to pull together some personal papers and provide that to the trust fund company. So this will help you prepare for the trust fund or surety bond. Now here's another handout. It's straightforward. It's a fax cover sheet. If you don't have one, all you need to do is modify it, and you can place a logo. If you have a logo, stick it anywhere on that fax cover sheet. Another handout is company information on your brokerage. You would pull this information together and give it to the shipper. They might stick it on the wall next to them, next to their telephone. Easy access to your contact information and so forth. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. The second reason for these handouts is to actually give you some tools of the trade is what I call them. For example, the broker carrier agreement that we'll be looking at, and then there's load manager spreadsheets that will help you record your load activity and help you analyze your activity as well. For example, here is the broker carrier agreement. This agreement probably is worth $700 or $800 just by itself. But here you have 2 pages. Everything is highlighted in yellow that you need to change. Down here, we'll look at the last 2 pages. And this is essential that you have a good broker carrier agreement before you start working with any carriers. Here's the load manager spreadsheet that I mentioned. This is where you will record all your load activity. You'll enter the carrier name, the shipper name, the gross amount you're getting, the amount due to the truck. It will automatically calculate your dollar profit, your profit margin, and so on and so forth. And after you complete a load, down here you're going to see tabs for each particular shipper, and you will copy and paste from the front page to each respective shipper, and you'll be able to see the profit margin for each particular shipper, how quickly they're paying you, and so on. So this is an extremely valuable handout. Here's another handout. It's a spreadsheet. It's the confirmation that you'll send to your motor carriers. You do not want to dispatch a truck until you get this confirmation returned, signed, and dated. And as you can see here, it's pretty comprehensive. It's got toward the bottom some instructions and some other information here. You'll use this for every load that you do after you get the broker carrier agreement. Here's a handout with some questions that you'll ask your shipper. Once you start calling on prospective shippers, you want to be asking them questions, simple questions like, do they do full truckload? Do they do LTL? Are they currently shipping? What kind of cargo do they ship? What kind of trucks do they need? And so on. So it's got a good list here to get you started. You want to get them talking about their business. Let them know that you know what you're talking about. Here's a template for the shipper order form. Once you start taking orders from your shippers, you need to record that information. Sometimes they'll fax you the information. Other times they'll give you information over the telephone. If it's coming over the telephone, have something ready to write down all the information that they're going to give you about a particular load. So this form is pretty much ready to go. Here's a printout of a sample shipper database. In our training, we direct you to a low-cost database. This is where you'll collect information on shippers and carriers. You'll have 2 separate databases, one for the shipper, one for the carrier. Now, if you were to purchase freight broker software, and most of that is pretty expensive, but generally you'll be building a database inside of that software, and you won't need this particular type. This is a standalone database package. Once you get a number of shippers into your database, You're just going to come over to the left side and click on a particular name, and it will open up their information here. And you've got a phone number, and you'll get on the phone, start calling, asking if they're looking for any trucks. Now, this database is valuable. Once you collect a good amount of information from shippers and carriers, these are your gold mines. If you were to sell your business in the future, your value would be based upon your database of shippers and carriers. Here's another spreadsheet to help you record a running total of cash in the bank. This is only for your payments to your trucks and for your receipts from shippers. Over here, you'll list your receipts. Over here, you'll list payments to truckers. There's only 2 here, but you can expand this almost unlimited. And you want to see a running balance, and you can project this out to 2 or 3 months. In a checkbook, you can't make projections out like 2 or 3 months into the future, but you want to plan for your cash receipts and your cash outlays. You want to see if there's any upcoming shortages so you can prepare for it. Here's a sample business plan. This is included in the training. And you can even purchase this off my website. I think it's less than $10. It's about a 30-page sample business plan, and it's based primarily upon my brokerage as well as my years of working with small business startups. And then you'll receive this template. It's a spreadsheet. It's a monthly cash flow projection. I don't encourage people to do this right away. You need to have some idea of your load activity and your income. But after you've been in business for a year or so, this will be a very good tool. And again, you want to project your income and expenses. This is a pretty comprehensive cash flow projection, and it should be very helpful. Again, especially if you're trying to project any cash shortfalls. So this has been just a general overview of just several of the handouts. The handouts are in addition to the training manual that you'll receive, and there are also videos that will help explain some of the handouts. But the training is everything from A to Z on starting and succeeding in your freight broker business. You have 3 training options. You can train over the telephone and internet. I would email the training manual to you. We would get together maybe once or twice a week, 1 to 2 hours per session. You tell me what schedule works best for you, and I'll try to accommodate that. And this would take about 30 days to go through the material. Or you can train live here in El Paso. Over the past several years, more and more individuals are coming here for live training. And then your third option is the home study. These three options here, each of them will have the same materials, the same training manual, handouts, and videos. Now with the live training and the telephone and internet training, you'll have unlimited support after formal training. With the home study, you'll have up to 3 months of email support. If you need to contact me, email works best. You can reach me at info@atexfreightbrokertraining.com. I encourage you to view my website again, atexfbt.com. There's just a lot of information on the website. And let me know if you have questions. Shoot me an email, okay? Thank you for watching. This is John, Atex Freight Broker Training in El Paso, Texas.